Last month, my online business did over $46,000 in profit when just a couple years ago, I dropped out of college. I moved to Colorado, became a ski bum. I drank like it was my full-time job, and I had no idea what to do with my life at all. And what this video is not going to be is I'm not going to sit here and tell you that now I'm living my dream life and I travel the world. I bought a penthouse in Miami when that's simply just not the case. I see hundreds of videos on YouTube of people saying that, they made $50,000 in 2 months, and it seems really unrealistic. And for 99% of people, that's not the case, and that's not what's going to happen. For me, I had a really relentless journey to get to where I am. And in this video, I really just want to kind of give you guys a point of what it took for me to get to the point where I'm at now. And by all means, I'm not like the end all be all. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm not saying that, I'm the epitome of success. I really just want to share my raw reality story and just kind of give the people who are still on their journey and still in their grind, just a little bit of inspiration if they're still working and haven't seen success so fast. So by the end of this video, I really just want to give you guys a few key points of what I think made the biggest difference in my life and what you guys can implement to hopefully see success faster if you're still on that journey. So I know no one believes a single word I say unless I show screenshots and proof. So insert proof here. Okay, cool. Now that's out of the way. I think let's just start from the beginning. So my whole life, I really had no idea what I wanted to do ever. It was one of those things where, you go to school and they're like, oh, you got to pick your career. And, everyone tells you just go to college and, you just get a 9 to 5 and carry on with life. And for me, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Everyone told me I need to find my passion and go with it. And what I really cared about is I love skiing. I love snowboarding. I like skateboarding. I like riding dirt bikes. That's what I really enjoyed. And I didn't really get into sports in high school because of that. I would rather do that. And at the end of the day, what I really liked was this was around the time of Barstool Sports when it was just like coming up. And I discovered I really liked to party. So in high school, that's exactly what I did. I partied my entire way through high school. And I think the main reason behind that was because I knew deep down I really didn't know what I wanted to do with myself. And that was the one way I can like escape that fear of not knowing. Like we were those kids that would I would party every single weekend and I would put my toe through beer cans and we would shotgun beers with anything on the inside just to try and get featured on these theme pages on Instagram that were popping off at the time. And I did at one point. That was my 1 second of fame that I thought I was the coolest kid ever because I put my toe through a beer can and I made it on this Instagram page, whatever. But at the end of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just graduated. I did fine in school, and I knew I should probably go to college because that's what everyone told me to do. I wanted to make everyone happy, right? So I went to college, and exactly what I did there was I partied more, obviously. What else would I do? But when I was in college is when I kind of started to navigate into this online business world, and I started finding YouTube videos, and I saw these kids that were making bread drop shipping, and they're like, oh, just buy stuff from AliExpress, ship it to America, and collect the money in the middle. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty easy. So my first idea was I was going to do, those portable protein blenders that you plug into your car or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. We're going to do this. I set up a website. I threw $5 on Facebook ads. It didn't work, obviously. And since I got no results, I instantly gave up and I went right back into partying. And I did that for the next year. And I really had nothing really to do with online business since. And then I got another idea. The YouTube guys got back to me again. And my next brilliant idea was, I was like, oh, dude, beauty blenders, this is it. I was like, I can buy these for 30 cents. I sell them for $5. Right? I was like, the profit be insane. We'll be good to go. I was so excited about this that I did absolutely nothing with it. I didn't even attempt it. I didn't even build a website. I just talked about it, and it felt good to talk about it, I guess. Make it seem like I was going somewhere when I really wasn't. But kind of as that was going on, I discovered Ty Lopez. I'm sure most of you guys have heard the ad, Knowledge, right? Highlight. But I ended up buying a $1,000 course for a social media marketing thing. It wasn't his. It was somebody else's. But it was a $1,000 course that was along the lines of, how to sell social media marketing services. And, you need 10 clients, $1,000 a month, done. I was like, okay, sick. All I need is 10 clients. I'll make 10K a month, and that'll be just like the Miami gurus tell me to do. I'll make 10K a month, and I'll be successful, right? That was the whole thing. So while this was happening, after I bought this course, I was convinced that the only thing holding me back from actually starting business was because of my environment, right? Which I wasn't 100% wrong with, but I knew that my environment was holding me back. So I called my mom, I called my dad. I was like, hey, I'm done. I'm dropping out of school. or like, I'm going to take a leave of absence. Like, just give me some time to really figure out this online business thing. And they were very upset. They really didn't want me to do that. They wanted me to stay in college and, go that route or whatever. But the second I got home, I was like, oh, dude, it'd be really cool. I got an opportunity to move out to Colorado, and I moved to Colorado. I became a ski bum. And I was like, all right, we're gonna ski full time. We're gonna work on the business, and then by the end we'll come back and we'll be making money. It'll be all good. That's not what happened. Colorado has legal weed, okay, and I jumped into that. Like we were smoking dabs, we were partying the whole time, drinking, skiing all the time. Like it was a dream, right? And then I came back because the season ended, and I was still at square one. Like I have no idea what to do with my life. I have no direction. I have no purpose. I felt like a complete and utter failure already. Like the only thing I have under my belt is a college dropout, a ski bum, and that's pretty much it. And I'm just comparing myself to everybody else. And I'm like, what am I going to do with myself? So essentially I did nothing for a while. I just worked at a distillery. I was like a delivery driver or whatever. But I kept watching YouTube videos on online business. So I knew that like it was possible. Like I knew that it was possible, and I felt like it was my only way out because I wasn't going back to school. I didn't like that. That wasn't going to happen. And I was like, I don't know what else I'm going to do, so I guess I'm just going to keep trying in online business, right? So as I was on a YouTube rabbit hole, I ended up finding this guru who he had a ton of results with his clients, like doing social media marketing. And I was like, okay, so I booked a call, right? And I get pitched a $6,000 course. Like, dude, I don't have $6,000. Like the most I have in my bank account at this point is like $400, and that's on a good week. And it always disappears anyway. So I don't have $6,000, but I was convinced that like this was the way, and like that he had the answers because, he had so many results. So I convinced my mom, I begged my mom, I'm like, Mom, please, can you buy this program for me? I know it's going to change my life, blah, blah, blah. I'll pay you back, all this stuff. And it took a couple days, but she did end up buying that program for me. And at this point was the first time I actually locked in to online business. Like this was the first time where I was like, okay, this is actually going to work. I was up at 5 a.m. I did 50 push-ups every single day. I wrote down what I'm grateful for. I did 50 cold calls a day. I did 100 cold DMs a day. I was really locked in for like 2 to 3 months. And I got my first client and I was over the moon. $1,000. I was like, let's go, dude. We're going to make it. And what I came to realize pretty quick was I have no idea how to run a social media marketing agency, and I don't even know how to provide the service that I'm selling. I learned how to sell, which is good, kind of, but I learned how to sell. I had no idea how to actually provide the service, so I got dropped immediately, which is fine. But that kind of sent me down a negative spiral. I was like, right back into the same mindset of like, I'm a failure. I'm comparing myself to everybody else. People are graduating college. People are getting jobs. Like people in my high school, some people are buying houses. And I'm just like comparing myself to everybody. I felt like a failure. COVID-19 came about and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I started working at Amazon. And while I was at Amazon, I decided my next brilliant idea was I'm going to start a clothing brand. So I started a clothing brand, and this was solely surrounded around, you guessed it, drinking, because that was my thing. That's what I was good at. That was my number one thing. I could shotgun beers and I could party. I'll tell you that. So started this clothing brand, and people loved it. Like I made like $5,000 to $6,000 in like 3 months from this clothing brand, which was awesome. But I didn't want that to be my thing. Like I didn't want myself and my personal brand of what everybody knows me as is the kid who has the partying brand or whatever. It didn't align with what I really wanted in life. So I ended up stopped doing that, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't like printing t-shirts. I don't like the aspect of what it is, but this was a good learning experience. So at the same time, I was still working at Amazon. I hated it, so I walked out. And then I went into Home Depot, and I hated it, so I walked out. And then I got a job bartending, and I was comfortable for 2 years. I was surrounded by alcohol all the time. We're drinking 3 days a week or whatever. And I'm comfortable. Like I'm just casually going through the motions, but I know like deep down that like I need to do something better with my life, and I need to like escape this drinking rabbit hole that I'm in. So I kind of took a step back and I was like, what do I really, really enjoy? Like, what do I actually like, and how can I actually monetize this? And what I really liked was I loved skiing. I loved making videos of myself skiing and my friends skiing. That was a ton of fun. And I was like, content creators need video editors, right? So I locked myself in a room for like 2 months. I taught myself how to edit videos. And what I did was I edited like the Joe Rogan clips because I knew they like kind of went viral, and I was like, maybe it'll work. So my first video, I put it out there. I think I made seven videos total. The first one, they all flopped at first, and then after 2 weeks, that first video skyrocketed to 33 million views, and I was like, holy shit, like I'm famous, like blah blah blah, all this shit. I mean, I knew at the time, I'm like, this isn't me. Like I literally I threw subtitles on the screen. Like I ain't shit, but I was able to leverage that, that success, if you will. So I used that to, I did some cold emailing. I messaged some content creators. I got one content creator pay me $800 a month. I had another one pay me $800 a month. And I'm like, okay, like this is it. Like we're good, right? We're just going to be a video editor and we'll make money. We'll be good. So with this little bit of money, I was like, oh, I can like travel the world. Like I don't need to be tied down to a location, right? So I ended up buying like a 1989 Ford Econoline van. And I was like, oh, I'm going to build out this van and we're going to do like this whole van life thing. And I started building it. And it turned out awesome. Like it was pretty cool. I didn't build the whole thing out, but I ended up selling it. I ended up building a truck camper after that. I have a whole series on a different Instagram channel, and that did really well on the internet, just like posting those like truck camper videos. And I built the whole thing. We went and traveled the Northeast. It was awesome. But at the end of the day, I was very comfortable, which was a problem. I was very comfortable with this whole like $800 to $1,000 a month thing. And I knew that like that wasn't it. And I needed to actually like get an actual income coming in that wasn't just time for money, because I essentially just gave myself a new job online, and that really, like, that doesn't help me out. I'm doing the same thing I was doing before. I'm just doing it online. That's not what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted freedom. Freedom was the goal. So what I ended up doing, my brilliant ass, I decided to quit my job. I was making $800 to $1,000 a month. I quit my job. I didn't have a lot of expenses. I was living in my dad's basement. My girlfriend was living with me. She gracefully, like, pretty much took over a lot of the payments that we had. And just like my mother, if it wasn't for her, and I would not be here. Like if it wasn't for her and the sacrifice that both of us have made for me to be able to get to this point, it wouldn't be without either of them. And then I saw a webinar for this guy. He was talking about how you can partner with a content creator, right? And sell a coaching program, and you collect money in the middle. It was called like growth operating, or, people say like growth partnership, or info product growth agency, along those lines. And I was sold on the idea. I was like, I see this, right? I've been sold enough coaching programs in my life at this point that I kind of understand how sales funnels work, and I kind of know what works and what doesn't. I've been pitched a ton, so I kind of know like what worked for me and what didn't, like for other people. So I was like, I can leverage that and I can use that. So I took that idea, that one editing client I still had to this point. He was my second client I ever had. I still had him, and I pitched him, and I was like, hey, listen, we'll start this school community, I'll take like X amount of money in the middle, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yep, let's do it. We'll, we've been working together for a long time already. I think this will be a good partnership and we'll work things out. So from then I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know how to write copy. I didn't know how to, build a sales funnel. I didn't know how to sell anything. I didn't know how to build a coaching program. I didn't know how to do any of that. So I studied like crazy. Like I got like copywriting, or what is it? Cashvertising is a great copywriting book. .com secrets, $100 million offers, $100 million leads, all that stuff. Like my Bible, like I studied relentlessly. I was working 16+ hour days just trying to get this coaching program up and going. And I'm like, this is it. This is really going to work. I was so locked in. I started doing 75 hard. Side story, we only made it to 73 days. I went on vacation. I caved after 73 days. We decided it was fine, but whatever. Anyways, but the first month we launched that program, we did $6,000 in profit. And this was the first month I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, this is it, right? So first month, $6,000, second month, $6,000 again. And after that second month, I invested $3,000 into coaching, which was pretty much almost all the money I had because I'm paying off debts. And then the third month we did $10,000. And then the fourth month we did $18,000. And then at this moment, I made the biggest risk of my life. I started seeing success. I was like, I need to get out of my house. Me and my girlfriend, I just put a down payment, a $4,500 down payment on this townhouse that I'm in right now. And I got the opportunity to get mentored one-on-one by the same guy who taught me how to do all this in the first place. And it was $10,000. And I spent every last dollar I had. I had $600 left to my name. I just got this new apartment. My expenses literally tripled. I spent every last dollar I had. I was shaking, literally shaking, but I knew that this is what I needed. I needed the mentorship to get me to that next level because I felt like I can only go so far. And I remember I took a walk. I went downstairs. I told my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, I spent every last dollar I had. And this is the same exact day that I put my down payment on this place that we're in right now. I was like, I have $500 to my name. We'll be fine, right? You just got to believe me. I get goosebumps right now just even talking about that moment. That was insane. So the next month, right, we did $38,000 in profit, right? And then December, 10 months after we launched, literally 10 months after we launched the program, we did $46,590.70. And that was the biggest month I've ever had, ever. And, you know, for the year, we did over $200,000 in profit, all profit numbers. And that's like, literally, this is when everything like really like kind of freaked me out because it was like an unreal feeling. I was like, oh my goodness, like, I've never seen this much money in a year in my life, and I just made it in 30 days. Like, that's insane. Like, now I'm in like an identity crisis at this point. I'm like, my whole life, I've only had like $400 in my bank account. Every time I go to the grocery store, anytime I go anywhere, I have to look at my bank account before I do anything. And now, like, I don't have to do that. So now I'm like, what do I do? Like, I don't, like, all I wanted to do was make money, and now I made it. So, like, now what? Right? And that's something I'm still working on. And that's pretty much the point of why I'm making this video is that's something I really want to focus on more is like sharing what I know and as a passion project of mine. Like, I don't want to go out and sell a course and do all that. I would much rather just kind of share my knowledge and really what I know as a passion project. So you see, we scaled very quickly, right? But it was patiently, like over the 10 months, you know, we had a very steady business operating and we kept scaling. And I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for the 6+ failures that I had in business, if it wasn't for the knowledge that I was able to accumulate myself, if it wasn't for me dedicating, you know, to try and do 75 hard to stop drinking and investing in myself, my personal and my mental health development, I know we would not be, and I would not be in this position that I'm in now, because that is like the number one thing. Like, I'm so grateful for this moment that I'm at right now. And if it wasn't for those failures, I wouldn't be here. And if you're at a point where you're just starting and you keep failing, take those as learning opportunities, because that is really where you learn the most. You learn the most when you fail, not when you succeed. Here are a couple things that, like, I have like 4 things here that I think if you're just starting or if you're on this journey and you're trying to make money online, I think these are the 4 most important things that have really, really, really changed my life and that I think everyone should focus on from here on out. So number 1, everybody overlooks this and it sounds stupid, but focus more on your mental health and your actual health, because your business is only as good as you. If you feed yourself garbage all day long, your business will produce garbage. It sounds crazy that like, oh, how is working out going to make me more success? It will. Working out, focusing on your mental health, educating, reading, all that stuff, very important. That's the first thing. Focus on you and your business will thrive. 2, most people look for an easy way out to make money online. I see this all the time. Like, people they start like Instagram theme pages, or like, you know, they go right to stock trading or something like that. But you also see at the same time, drop shipping, you see affiliate marketing, you see social media marketing, you see all this stuff. Just pick one. Like, pick one and develop a skill set, and you will be valuable to somebody if you pick up a skill set. Like, break it down as simple as possible. I have this skill to provide to this person, and that will bring me money in exchange for money, right? And the more skills you stack and the more knowledge you have, you will get paid more money. That's essentially all you need to know. So develop skills, learn skills, and that will be the game-changing moment for you. And stop looking for an easy way out, because it's not. An easy way out doesn't exist. This is a long road. It's a long journey, and it's emotionally draining, and it's pretty fucked up. But when you get through it, you get through it. So 3 things I think most important from that to focus on is copywriting. You need to learn how to sell with writing. You have to. Psychology, you have to understand how people work. That's huge. Psychology is way more important than you think. And then sales, over the phone, high ticket sales. Fantastic. Those, in my opinion, those are the 3 things you should focus on, especially as a beginner. Those are the skills you should really learn. So number 3, build something sustainable, kind of like I mentioned, a real business that helps people. That's the goal here. Like if you're just making money, like you're not going to be fulfilled at all. You're just not. I'm sorry. I know what you're thinking. Oh, if I had 50K, I would be fine. It's like, well, no, you won't, because you have no passion, no fulfillment in life, and you won't be happy. I'm sorry to say it, but you won't. And the last one I'm going to say is invest in yourself. Like genuinely, I know sometimes there's a lot of bad energy around, courses or coaching programs or things like that. Invest in yourself. It is so important. I've spent well over $25,000 in coaching or courses or random things along the line to get me to where I am now. And I would not be here without spending that money and investing in myself in that way. And I think that might be the sole reason I am where I am, is because I invested so much into my coaching, into my knowledge, into my skill set, and all those things. I wouldn't be here without that. And it really just gives you a leg up that you would not get to, and you can skip the learning curves of a lot of people, and you can take what you can from each individual person. And that is so important. Just invest in that. I'm not selling you anything. I'm genuinely just saying invest in your coaching, invest in courses, invest in that stuff. You will learn so much faster. So this is my first YouTube video, and my goal with this channel is I just want to give you guys everything I know. Like if anybody watches this, I want to give you everything I know, like whether it's how to sell coaching online, how to start your business, or how to actually copyright properly, how to write emails, how to do launches properly. I want to share everything I know about online business and also personal development, maybe along those lines, something like that. So that is pretty much where I want to go with this channel. And if you want to follow along, hit the subscribe button. I don't know, comment, call me dork, whatever. But I hope for some of you guys who are still in your grind, this is, something good to look at, to know that not everybody sees success immediately, and it takes a long time. It takes a long time to see success. So if you're still grinding, keep grinding, and I'll see you guys in the next one.